Hi, I'm Carolyn.
And I'm Anna.
And we're two sisters who love handcrafting and figuring things out. Where are we?
I know. It's summer and we're visiting our sister. So we are coming to you today. Today is June 26th, a Thursday, 2025. We are coming to you from Oregon.
Yeah, it's very cloudy and overcast, and there's Oregon out there looking back at you. So we came up here. There's a good light, so we'll see how the light is along the way. All right, so what do we have? This is going to be just a short and snappy episode. We're going to talk about our finishes, our whips, update on the sampler color exploration, a little bit of plans, thumbs up, call it a wrap.
Yeah, there we go.
We're up here for a while, and we're overlapping today and tomorrow, and then Anna will go home, and then I'll be up here for another 2.5 weeks. So super fun.
So we'll film when we can this summer.
Exactly. Have the time. All right. What's going on with you, Anna?
I'm summering it up. That's what I'm calling it.
Popping my drink.
Enjoying sort of a slightly irregular schedule, which in the best kind of way. A few little visits, few little trips, all those kinds of things. And it's starting to get very exciting. Our family is anticipating the next grandchild. And
pretty incredible.
It's just so exciting. So I will have news at some point here this summer.
Yep. Sounds good. Good. What am I doing? I don't know. What my local granddaughter just turned 5, so we just had fun party celebration. On her actual birthday, we went to Benihana's, which was always fun. She invited a couple little friends. They came. And then her parents just know how to throw a party, and they have just a fun, family kind of party for the kids. They get a bounce house, pizza. It's just a fun afternoon. Yeah. So we had a lot of fun. Party. They do. They know how to throw it.
I think you need to scoot back a little bit because your knee is...
Oh, with my... Okay. All right. So before we really get into our stuff, we wanted to start with a toast, and we want to toast our 4 winners to last episode's giveaway. And the giveaway was in the last episode, Anna and I had gone through and reorganized our patterns. And while we were doing that, we pulled out patterns that were either duplicates or ones that we knew we weren't going to stitch. And we have a big grab bag, and we picked 4 winners. Each of those winners is going to receive a mixture of 4 to 5 patterns and maybe another little goodie or something in there. All right, we're going to say who the 4 winners are, and the key word was surprise. And it was so fun reading the comments. Some people would just say surprise, which was awesome. Other people would weave the word surprise into their comment in a really creative way.
So FlossTube, is that a thing? Because some of them were so clever. Is that
It must be a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was it was fun to read all those. Okay, so here are our 4 winners, and I'm also going to put them up here on the screen as I say that. I've taken screenshots of our random picking generator that we used. If you would either DM us on Instagram with your mailing address, if you're a winner, or you can email us at we.r.curiouscrafters, and it's going to say we don't read the email, but I will look for that. Also, I will not be home for another 2.5 weeks, so your package won't go out until about July 14th, 15th. So once I have that information, I'll let you know when they actually goes out. All right, here are the winners. The first one is Carms1065. Congratulations. The next one is Carol Pelletier 9877. Here you go. Congratulations. Our third winner is Kristen Berg, Wingnutstudio. Congratulations. And last but not least, I love this handle, Karen Oh Heck. So congratulations. So congratulations to our 4 winners, and over 100 people participated. So thank you. Sorry, the odds were not that great. You only had a, 1% chance of winning out of 100. But it was so fun. Yeah. So congratulations to our 4 winners, and let's toast our winners. Surprise!
Thanks for playing along.
Mm-hmm. And again, what I'm going to try to do, because, it's no way to know what everyone's style is, I'm going to look through all our patterns and give everybody a mixture of styles. So hopefully there'll be something in there that you want to stitch.
And you can keep passing things along. It's not a match.
Right.
After I was starting answering comments, I realized that surprise might be one of those words. I hear people say, like, don't use the word giveaway, or is that even a thing? Is that really true? So certain words.
Well, I'm wondering if there are bots out there on the internet that are, because I think the comment should be open text. So maybe if it sees giveaway things, I don't know.
And then what will the bot do?
Maybe it would like spam you with that word.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. If anybody knows what happens if you don't do giveaway, we'd like to hear more about that.
We might hear some bad stories, like of really unpleasant situations people have gotten into.
Yeah.
But I really, when I hear people say things like that, I kind of want to know the details. I think what could happen? Why?
I think probably you don't want to do anything too that's going to encourage like trolls to come. I'm like, trolls, stay away. We don't
so then I guess the reason I brought it up, because I thought, could surprise actually be one of those words?
Yeah. I know the other things people say is that you need to be 18 or over, because you can't ask somebody less than 18 for their address. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was interesting. So if any of you are 18, less than 18, ask your parents to email us.
There we go.
I still want to give you the present. All right, let's go. Let's start with some finished objects. I have a finished object, and you haven't even seen it. It was a start and a finish. And this is, I'm just going to go ahead and show it to you because it is so super cute. This is called Sweetie. And this is by the Artsy Housewife. So here is Sweetie. Come on. Isn't she Sweetie?
I find squirrels a little irritating in the yard, but that squirrel is cute.
It's so cute. So Sweetie was one of the Patreon patterns that Anna and I are both Patreons. And Sweetie also has this amazing, as Gigi will do, amazing border all around it. But all I wanted was Sweetie. And I was talking about this in our last episode where our sister Lynn woke up one morning and she turned her head to her bedside table and was eye to eye with a squirrel. And then all the things that ensued during the day to finally get the squirrel out of the house. So I'm going to be finishing this when I get home as a tile and having her husband just place it right on her bedside table. So hopefully she'll wake up again and she'll see Sweetie staring.
We'll tell you the end of the story.
Then I'm like, I hope this doesn't traumatize our sister. Like, because she's very good sense of humor and she laughs about it. But I do think it was a little traumatizing.
Yeah,
as you can imagine, waking up and just like having a squirrel like this far from your face. But Sweetie is so cute. Now, Gigi just has this way that her animals just know how to stare you down in just the right, like, attitude. Doesn't she have the right attitude? Mm-hmm. And for Sweetie, this is stitched on 36 count maple bar by Cedar River Linen. And I used almost all the called for DMC. One of the DMC, and I'm just going to say it if anybody has stitched Sweetie. One of the DMC, let's see, I wrote this down. It was color 3893. And it is a discontinued color. So what I did was I asked the Google, and the Google first told me to do DMC 543, but it was too light. This color is the accent color that's used right there with the white. Actually, this is showing up pretty well. I'm hoping it looks good for you too. And the first version was just too, not enough contrast. So this is DMC 842, and it was just a light mocha. And I finished Sweetie this morning, sitting at the gate, waiting for my plane to come up here.
Sweetie, to me, it looks like she's saying, like, got anything for me?
Good morning. That's what she's saying.
Got anything for me?
What you got? Got some nuts for me this morning? And it's well documented. I arrived at the airport so early. It makes me so happy.
Don't even try to convince her otherwise.
Don't convince me otherwise.
She'll just take a lift and meet you there.
Especially when it's just me. I'll go as early as I want to. So I had some beautiful stitching time this morning and finished Sweetie's tail.
It's cute, Carolyn.
Thank you. All right. So Sweetie by the Artsy Housewife. Anna, how about you?
I have a few tiny little finishes. I'm playing with perforated paper and just pulling out a motif from different patterns to make into a just little tiny needle card. So I'll back these with felt and put a few needles behind them.
Here, why don't you can almost put them against this piece of linen if you want.
Okay. The two patterns I pulled from were Eliza Brown from the Heart Needle Art, using the called for, and then the medium Verlanda style sampler from Modern Folk Embroidery. And oopsie.
Did you use the called for colors, or did you just bring your own palette of colors?
I had the colors for them, so
oh, cool.
These were the Eliza Brown colors.
Those are pretty.
So again, I still need to fully finish them. And then we received this silk. I think it was in a kitten stitcher box. It's a thread gatherer, Silk and Colors, Wassail. Sort of a purpley pink.
I would call that a mauve.
Okay.
Mauve? Patata?
So the perforated paper sticking to all the threads. So that's what these two. So I will again trim around them and sew them onto some felt. And when I'm away from home, I'm really enjoying stitching on perforated paper and playing with what is the right size to make a little needle card.
And if I can find it, I'm going to insert a picture. Anna showed a finished needle card a few episodes ago.
Oh, yeah.
And she used a sewing machine to sew around the edges and sew that piece of felt on the back, and then the needle could go into the felt. So
yeah, it was sort of simple and it's kind of fresh and tidy.
And this is the perforated paper she showed is 18 count. How did you feel about that? And I think you'd been on 14 count before.
Yes, and I still am using 2 strands.
Oh, you are?
I like using the loop start on perforated paper, but I did go down. I had to use a smaller needle because the needle I was using for the larger perforated paper.
Did you use a 20?
I used a 28.
28.
That was the other size needle I had.
They're nice. I like these. I mean, I think they're going to look better when the extra white is trimmed away.
I think that's one of the things, as much as I enjoy stitching on perforated paper, my eye still, the paper that's not stitched on is a little bit dominant or something for my eye. And I haven't tried distressing this, which would be another possibility. So,
yeah, I'm curious that, some people do that with ink. Or Anna, you have that walnut ink that you did.
The oak gall.
The oak gall.
Similar to walnut ink.
That might be an interesting thing to kind of make it more of a. Do you prefer the white, or the other you were stitching on was like the brown, like craft paper color?
I think because, like I just said, the paper feels dominant. I think I'm preferring the brown because it's less stark than the white. I know the other option would be to fill in the background, but for these little needle cards, I'm not sure I'm invested enough to do that. Yep. So we'll see. It's been fun. Just do like one an evening and see what happens.
And it is kind of fun being able to pull out little motifs and things.
Yeah. So not sure how much.
How'd you feel about this? Because this floss is very variegated. In fact, so you can see it. Let me get my sweetie back up here. You can really see the variation in that. What did you think about that?
I like it. I don't use that kind of floss very often with that much variegation. So for a little thing like this, enjoyed it.
Fun.
I've been really into DMC because I've been doing so much Notforgotten Farm this year and using the called for DMCs. I'm really enjoying DMC right now. So
yeah, Sweetie was all in DMC too, and it was very, very nice. All right, let's go.
That is all. Oh, works in progress.
Works in progress.
Should I
keep on going? Okay. Keep it going.
So I have a new start. I was itching for a little Patriotic. I've never done just a pure, full-on just Patriotic. I've done a few Patriotic stances for my son-in-law. I always want to call him my brother-in-law.
No.
My son-in-law. Anyway, this Patriotic Quaker 1776 by the Proper Stitcher has caught my eye a few times, so I finally ordered it. I think
you showed it in the last one.
In the share supplies or plans or something. I really like seeing what are the red, white, and blue that are picked because this blue is sort of purpley blue.
Oh.
And this red.
Oh, it is a touch of a little bit of purple. Yeah.
What is it? It's Battleship. Weeks Dye Works Battleshipped, Baked Apple, and Grits.
I like grits a lot.
So for me, that's fun because I haven't done like I said, hadn't done a lot of Patriotic, and I'm doing it on this new linen that I just got from the Roxy Floss Traditional Linen Club. I think it's called Curious Khaki.
That's what it was. That was what. Yeah, it was such fun. That looks fantastic on that.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to fold it in half. Yeah,
and I'm liking the size and shape.
The colors look really good on that.
Thanks. I'm happy too. So that was a fun little start.
I'm gonna pull it. Just thinking if it kind of blew out a little bit as you got
Look at that linen. It's really pretty. So we've got a
Yeah.
nice big chunk of that left.
The
modeling in it looks slightly different to me every time I stitch on it. Like, is it red? Is it orangey red? What is it?
It's bricky. It's good. It'll be interesting to see because you're not yet on those. See if you can see the red modeling is kind of right in here to see how it looks when it comes across there. I love that red, white, and blue combination. I think she got it spot on. Like a little bit dusty.
So maybe we'll, sometimes we have little rings that we keep when we like a color palette. Yeah. Maybe we'll keep those three together for a while.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, my next one is a new start. I've been talking about this. This is Wallflowers by the Scarlett House. And when the Scarlett House, what's her? Tanya. When she was showing Carolyn at the attic her new releases, that's where I saw the Black Swan pin keep, which I'll show you in a minute. But I also love this, and I ordered both of these from Acorns and Threads. So it's kind of fun being up here in Oregon where they are. So that was the pattern. For this, I just picked my own palette. I kind of converted it based on the colors in here, so I didn't really change too many colors. And a lot of these were some of the flosses that I had been using on Bun Bun.
Is that because you just wanted to use what you had, or because you wanted like sort of control of the color?
I wanted to use what I had, and when I was stitching Bun Bun, my collection of floss, I'm like, oh, a lot of the colors in here I was seeing them on my ring already, or on my collection. So I just was like, let's just use what I have. And I was able to pull out, I think then I augmented with a few more things from our stash, but it was kind of fun. And I think I'm kind of true to the colors, not too far off. So here's where I am so far.
At least to the photo, right? It'd be interesting to pull the others.
Right, that's right. It's just from looking at the photo. And I'm stitching this on Pomplamoose by the Tabby Cat Linen.
Fabulous choice.
And here's where I am so far. Let's see if I can get... It is true as we're getting closer at the color. This linen is a really nice, like a pinky, but in a good, like not a sweet pinky.
Yeah, it's truly grapefruity.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good color for it.
It's gorgeous. It's one of my favorite linens we have.
And the flowers are so fun. I really enjoy stitching where it's like I don't mind fill in, and I like where you have a chunk of color to work on for a while.
It's relaxing.
Lots of different, has like 3 different greens in here. So
I think the effect of, a little color here, a little color there, like people who stitch a lot of things like that, birds, flowers, I think it's beautiful. I don't find it that relaxing.
Yeah.
And often when I'm stitching at the end of the day, that's what I'm seeking. Yeah.
Although like this, which has a little bit of color here and there, I did like it.
But doesn't this have like lines of color?
Yes, good point. Good point.
That's a little bit different than what I'm talking about.
Good point. Are you think true more like a confetti?
And not even, like 3 stitches here, 4 stitches down here, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really pretty, Carolyn.
Isn't it pretty?
It's turning out great.
And this just makes me happy. It just feels fresh and happy. And the palette feels fresh and happy. Very spring and summer.
Makes me think of one of your daughters-in-law.
Local or distance?
Local.
Interesting. Her last request was like a beluga whale or something for her bathroom. So I still have to find like a good pattern for that.
Okay.
It's like one of those things when somebody asks you for something, you were like, yeah, okay, I gotta find that. Okay, as Wallflowers.
My turn.
Your turn. You're up.
Okay,
we don't really have our table, so we have laundry baskets turned upside down over here to try to hold some of our stuff. Yeah, we're doing fine.
I have been stitching some on Fronica Beiler. So this is the Notforgotten Farm sampler. I'd really like to stitch this year. I thought at the beginning of the year, I'll stitch a few of Lori's samplers. This might be the only one, but I'm really enjoying it. It has 4 colors in it I'm using, called for GNC. And I'm telling you, that dark, that gray, the more I put into this sampler, the more that gray is like setting the other colors.
Yes.
I'm just loving it. So this is on 40 Count Powder Puff by Roxy Floss Co. And I did over dye it with diluted oak gall
That's
ink.
right. Oh, Anna, that's looking so... You've done a lot.
Mostly working. You mind holding that corner? I've been stitching down here and finishing these words. And I have recharted. This is the second line. There's an alphabet. And then there's Fronica Beiler's name. And I have recharted it on Max Stitch with one of our maternal ancestors and her birth date. So I am going to replace that. Even though Fronica Beiler.
Who did you pick?
Awesome name. I picked Katie Kroll.
Oh, that's right. That was our mom's grandmother. Maternal grandmother. Oh, Anna, that looks so good.
Yeah, I am loving every stitch of this. So I aim to be done with this by the end of the year.
Oh,
which I think is totally doable.
I know it's hard. Her photo is so faint. It's hard to sort of see it, probably even on camera.
Actually.
So are you about halfway across it?
These motifs are the halfway point right here.
Okay.
So there are a couple of big birds, a house and a tree.
Uh-huh.
There's a bunch of words here, and then there's these 2 lines.
Okay.
I can sometimes be surprised at how quickly I can stitch an alphabet.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I have a lot of work left. Yeah. But don't you like that feeling when you have sort of like a nice chunk done and you really can start to feel like what this is going to look like?
I can really feel what you're talking about with the grays in this flower pot. Mm-hmm. I feel like the gray really makes a difference in that.
And the Pennsylvania German influence in so many of Notforgotten Farm patterns, but in this one for sure, just I know is one of the main reason I like this so much.
The chair would be a cute motif on one of the cards, wouldn't it? Because it's such a cane chair.
Yeah, and it has that little checkerboard.
Yeah.
See.
Cool.
Okay, great.
All right.
That's my last one.
All right, my next one is a new start. And this is one, when I finished Bun Bun, I wanted to start a new Artsy Housewife. And Anna had gotten this pattern for me, Flora. And then I ordered my supplies, my linen and my floss from Evertote, because it's both Roxy Floss Co. And the day it came, I was on it. Again, I'm going to have a whole wall. I'm really drawn to Gigi's animals that are just looking at you with all of this other stuff around it. I just love them.
You need to think of a nickname.
And they all have, they each have their own kind of attitude when they're looking at you. I love how confident they are in themselves. I love that. Seriously. I mean, look at her. I cannot wait to stitch her body. So I got the...
Oh, yeah. That's going to be so fun.
Oh, my gosh. I got the floss pack from Roxy Floss, and it was charted in Roxy Floss with a DMC conversion for people that are interested. And Gigi can do so much with just a few colors. So I love that. And then she used a different call for linen, but on the Evertote website, they recommended biscuit. And so I went ahead and did that.
Looking great.
And here's my progress.
Even prettier stitch than in the photo. I mean, it is.
I'm going to actually, let me do it this way. And it's interesting. It's so narrow. So I'm almost all the way across here. There'll be one more of this doodah over here.
101 stitches across.
Yeah. And you can see I've gotten, first I start up here in the top right, and I kind of work down. Then I got these flowers going, and there's Flora's head. So I got down enough to get to her head because I need to start going on her. Mm-hmm. These white, like forget-me-nots, I love stitching those. They are so pretty. The way the stem just meanders and the little
that's one of my favorite kind of stitching. See, she seems, I think we just need to come up with what are they saying? Because to me, Flora is like, hello, darling.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay.
Like in a southern accent.
And then what's Sweetie
Darling.
saying?
What you got for me?
Okay, is that what Sweetie's saying? Okay, Anna's going to come up with for the I'll now have 4 of these. Whatever. Oh, and then I have new moon, blue moon. So what
I may want to think further on.
Okay, we'll have to think about what is each animal saying. This is just, it's just going so smoothly. I can't wait to keep going. I can't wait to get down to Flora's decorative body.
And we can't wait to meet the Artsy Housewife in person.
Yeah,
in the September retreat.
At the retreat. I know. That's going to be fantastic. I'm very happy with the linen that came with it, biscuit. And I think the colors look great on it, so that was a really good substitution. And I got 2 more pieces of linen, but they're home. So I got, what's the Speculoos and Dusk. Those were the other 2 that added to our collection.
Good.
Okay, so those are our whips that we have going right now.
All right, not too bad for a little of this and a little of that. I'm warm up here.
I know. You want to pause and open the door? Window?
I don't think we can because the cat.
Is that off the screen right there?
Mm-mm.
Well, that, okay.
We'll be okay.
We're just going to be hot for you all. And it's more like it's like a little stuffy.
All right, the sampler color exploration, we just want to do a little update.
Okay.
It's off and running. Mm-hmm. And Carolyn,
Give us a little summary.
Okay. In a nutshell, the sampler color exploration is an exploration where you pick probably a smallish sampler, but any chart. You make a black and white copy of the cover, and then you hide the rest. And then you choose your own colors, and you start stitching, and you make any modifications you need to make, and you learn about color. That's what it is.
That's it. If you want to see any more details, go back our last 3 episodes. We talk about each one in detail, and it's all in the We Are Curious section, so you can always use the chapters to zip right to it. All right, so I've been cruising along on my Black Swan pin keep. Here's my black and white photo. I have totally forgotten what the colors are. You know, I did see the color photo when I made this copy, but I put it away. And here is the palette I've been working with. And I've been really happy. I haven't made any changes to my palette yet. And here is my progress.
Again, that dark turquoise.
Let me see if I so important. So I've gotten down and I did my dark, so this is now called the dark purple, the eggplant. It's going to be the eggplant swan.
Okay.
Because that's in the dark purple. And this little bird still needs her legs and beak. I just did those in the neutral, in the taupes. Here and here. Mm-hmm. Can you tell my first 2 lines were in the deep purple and my next 2 were light purple?
I mean, I can see it now, but it is not.
And then I'm going to do, so I've used 2 different purples for my alphabet letters. The top 2 match the swan, and the next 2 is more variation, a little bit lighter. And then my very last, my XYZ, I think that's what's left. I'm going to go back to the dark purple. And I just wanted that for a little bit of variation.
Again, on the skein, they definitely look different.
Mm-hmm.
But less dominant on one
when you have one strand on there. I have loved this so much. I love this project from beginning to end. And in fact, I'm so curious. I want to stitch it again. I'm going to stitch it again. And I'm either going to pick a totally different color palette or I'm going to stitch it on a really bold linen. So what would happen if I picked one of our colored linens and then picked a palette to go on that? And just to compare, this would be more like a more traditional kind of sampler vibe versus something like that.
It would be fun to make a list of variations. After you stitch your first one, what could you do next?
Yeah. And they're so small and such a bite-sized treat. You could stitch it again. And again, what I love about samplers and this one too, so much. Do you want to do like alphabets? Do you want to do some geometric? Do you want to do, your flowers or your swan? This design has 2 little bits of over 1 that we've talked about before. Oh, I didn't bring my hoop with me. I do use a hoop when I do over 1.
I wonder if Susan has one.
So the over 1 might have to wait till I get home or If I end up popping over to Acorns and Threads, maybe I'll get a little hoop.
Yeah, get me something if you go over there. Okay. You know, I don't know if the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit is going to have a smalls exchange, but one of your iterations could be a smalls exchange.
Yeah. I'm thinking this one I might try to finish as the pillow, but doing the lacing of the back stitch.
Yeah, I want
and
to
to
try
see
that.
how that is. So, thoughts about how the colors are working?
These are my thoughts. Fabulous.
Okay, good.
Zero. I'm a little surprised that the purples don't look more different to my eye. But that's just an observation. It's not a...
I wanted to try going a little lighter for a bit because I felt like that dark purple was a pretty bold, heavy, and I wanted to see what happens if you lighten it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like you've used a variegated thread.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And once the darks go underneath,
yep,
that might make the...
And for the 2 over 1s, oh, here's my picture. There are these 2 little things right here. This one, I'm going to turn it into my mark. Oh, I also didn't bring my mark with me. I think it's on my computer. And then that one, I'll keep it as it is. So I'm almost done. I just have that little bit down there.
Yeah. I might stitch it too if I
yeah.
I can't decide if I want to do like a second golden finch or whether I want to try yours.
I know, because I also want to try the golden finch. This too, what I'm going to do is bring down probably the green I use less up here and the reds. So there was a second very lighter green I used right there in the flowers. I think I'm going to use that and then bring down this.
Yeah.
Okay. So this should... We'll shift down like that. All right, so this should probably be more or less finished the next time.
Awesome.
Let's see it. Okay, plans.
I'm just going to say
how do you want to talk about your golden finch? How are you coming on that?
I'm just going to finish it when I get home.
Okay.
I don't even think I've stitched on it since the last video. But I'm having a lot of fun with this exploration.
Okay. I'm going to pause you for a second because we're filming, gosh, today's a Thursday. So it's not going to go live until next Thursday. So if you finish it when you get home, send me a picture. And if she finished it and sent me a picture, it's right here.
Okay. Moving on to plans.
Mm-hmm.
Finish golden finch.
Done. Yeah, this might already be done, Anna.
Mm-hmm. 2 sals that I'm interested in. One of them is a year-long sal, the KB Swan Quaker sal, hosted by Annie at XO Needle in the Hay XO. So that's the big, long capybaric one. I did a nice chunk of that before I came up here, so I'll show that in the next video. And then the Black Rooster 1811 sal, hosted by Atelier Swadide. That's starting in a few days, so it will have started once this video is live.
And do you have all your supplies? Oh, because you got the Vicki Clinton silks, didn't you?
I don't know if they've arrived yet, but maybe. And I'm just hoping that something from our supply box will work for the linen. And
if you end up getting those, also send me a picture. We'll insert those.
Okay, great. So that's what's on, and then I'm going to say all summer, wherever the wind takes me, we'll see.
Good, love it.
Carolyn?
Love it. So I'm up here in Oregon for about 2.5 weeks till mid-July. So I brought up with me 4 things to work on. Well, I finished the video. That was 5. I know. So I have my the 3 that you saw, and then I also brought my lingering whip that I'm working on right now, which is Oh Joyous Day.
Good.
And I love that because I feel like it's going to really make me commit and sit down and do some good stitching on that.
And Flora can keep you really happy and busy for Flora, a while too.
So I feel like I have plenty. And then you never know. I would like to try to, just depending on our timing of other things, make it to Acorns and Threads. And if I do, I'll probably pick up just a little souvenir project there. So there might be a new start.
A
little something along the way. I'm also really curious about Anna's perforated paper, and I did bring some supplies. I brought a couple of small motif patterns and some perforated paper. So we'll see if that takes me anywhere. And that's that. Okay, Anna, thumbs up.
Time for thumbs up. When I came up here, I was determined I wanted to see a bald eagle. And I have had 3 different days where I've seen eagles. The first 2 days, they were really, really high up. I was going to the grocery store and their call is really distinctive. And so I hadn't even seen them. And then they started making a sound. I looked up and there's 3.
Whoa.
And then I saw 2 a couple days later. Again, they can fly really, really high up. But this morning, I'm sitting and stitching and I look up and one just went right by the window. So it was really the first time I really saw the white head really clearly. Thumbs up.
Did it like go over the porch, or was it further out?
It was further out than that, but it was close.
Wow, cool.
My second thumbs up is just grilled dinners. I just like grilled meat and grilled vegetables, or like, grilled meat and a salad, and you pop it on, and then you finish dinner and you're like, wait a minute, there are not really any dishes. I just like that feeling. It's particularly at the beginning of the summer. It's just sort of a nice change. And then my third thumbs up is just new sneakers. I bought a new pair of sneakers and I'm just feeling kind of snappy.
Oh, good. I have to see them. Mm-hmm. Did you bring them up here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Good. All right, my 3 thumbs up. First of all, I have continued to geek out on planners, and I'm just having so much fun with my planner and thinking about planning. And again, my whole sort of life balance has totally changed now that I'm sort of semi-retired, and I'm just having so much fun thinking about that as well. So thumbs up planners. The other thumb up is I'm just really looking forward to the next like 2.5 weeks and just having a different change of pace in Oregon and just being here with her family and kind of living life up here for a little bit. Mm-hmm. So looking forward to that. And then finally,
it feels different up here than where we live.
Oh yeah, for sure. And they, as you can see back here, they live on a lake, and when there's no cloud cover, you can see Mount Hood, which is really pretty spectacular. And I'll hopefully have a picture between now and when this goes live, and I'll put it in if you can see it. So it's just beautiful right here. And then last is, I have a friend at home, and she doesn't drive, she doesn't have a car. And so sometimes she's like, yeah, you can take me to the grocery store. So we went on a little adventure last Tuesday, and she wanted to go to this grocery store that has a lot of international food. So fun. So many amazing, there's a lot of like Middle Eastern stuff, and you walk in and there's this whole display of like so many different kinds of dates. And she's like, oh, I love dates. I'm like, I have never eaten a date before. So she's like, you're buying some. So I bought a packet of them, and they're so good. But she told me, you can only eat 2 or 3 a day because they have lots of sugar in them.
I mean, I really like sweet things, but they're almost too sweet. So I prefer them chopped in a salad or something.
Oh, because you know what I've been doing? I've had one after lunch and one after dinner, and they're like my dessert. Mm-hmm. And they're supposed to be really good. Like I looked them up, and the internet says they're really good for you, but eat them in moderation. So thumbs up to dates. I'm so happy. It was just fun. We both went into that store and we're picking something that we've never had before and giving it a go. So I did dates, and I'm really happy with those. So that's it.
Great.
All right. So we were super snappy this time. So we'll see you. I guess we'll see you in our normal time. I think so, because I think we'll overlap.
Oh yes,
like toward the end of July.
One, yes,
and then we'll probably be gone for like a month or so.
Who knows?
Yep.
But
so
great to visit for a while.
Yep.
See ya.
Okay. Until next time.
Oh yes, we say something at the end. Happy crafting.
Stay curious. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.